All right, I think we are live. So, hey guys, welcome to day 4 of Revamp Your Repertoire. I cannot believe we are at day 4 already. We've got today and tomorrow, and that's it. And I feel like we've covered a whole lot of stuff. So I just want to do a little bit of a recap so far of where we are so far, and then we'll dive right in. So day 1, we talked about know what's in your music library. Day 2 was about knowing your artistic superpower, sort of like who you are as an artist. Day 3, yesterday, was about knowing your audience, who you're performing for. And today is about knowing your goals. So, also, sorry, if you are watching live, feel free to say hello. I love to know who's on and who's not. So please do leave something in the comments, say hello, and we can have a discussion. Also, I will be asking some questions. Hey, Cherry and Vincent are here. I will be asking a few questions, so I really want today to have a lot of discussion. I think that worked out really well yesterday, so I want to do a little bit more of it. We'll see. And okay, so we've been putting together all of these building blocks, and so here we are. Here's another building block, which is your goals. And before we get into that, hey Andrea, I don't know if it's Andrea or Andrea, so I'm really sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. But yay, Michelle's here, yay, and Ryan, awesome. Oh, I'm so happy there's so many people watching. Yeah, so I'm giving you these building blocks so that you can have something really stable from which to make your decisions about your repertoire. And for goals, I kind of want to take a little bit of a slight detour before I really get into the whole goals thing, and talk a little bit about where we are today in the classical music world. Yesterday I got an email from Opera Philadelphia saying that they are not going to have their major operas in the fall. Certainly Chicago Lyric has been doing the same thing. There are a bunch of opera companies that are basically saying like it's just not safe and it's not viable to be putting on these large productions. Hey, Abby. And it's not just opera companies that are doing this. It's larger organizations that have a lot of liability when it comes to live performance, and they're doing the right thing. They're doing the ethical thing, which is, to wait until it's safe for both the audiences and the workers. And I do appreciate that. But on the other hand, obviously it just creates a huge amount of uncertainty in our world. And I'm not gonna lie, like I've been scared. I've had, I've gone through a lot of grief, and a lot of, really like trying to figure out, okay, well, what next? Like how can I do my art and make money, like make a living doing it? Like this is something that when we talk about your values and who you are and everything like that, like I want to live in this space. Like I've discovered who I am, and I want to stay there, but I also want to be able to, make a living too. So I think having these building blocks are helpful to make these decisions for you too. And I don't have the answers. But what I do know is that part of my journey in trying to figure out what it is that I want to do and how I'm going to pivot and how I'm going to get my art out there while also, lifting myself up and creating success for myself. For me, that means really being online a lot more, and being true to my values and my vision. And I'm really committed to putting out more new music into the world. Like, just get it out there, because I think, again, this is my own vision. This is my own dream. Is like, I really want to have a world where all of this stuff is really accessible, where it's not like hidden away, like these all this diverse repertoire, all these new pieces are like hidden away in a library somewhere, and only certain fancy people or gatekeepers know about it. I want to make this accessible, because I believe that diversity leads to success. I really do. So maybe in like the context of revamping your repertoire, I'm actually curious, like, what do you want to do with your new rep? Like, do you want this to be just audition material? Do you want to maybe record it? Do you want to teach it? I mean, do you want to write about it? Like, there are all sorts of ways, and maybe there are like new ways that don't involve live performance, at least not right now, that you can continue to really be true and live in your artistic truth. So feel free to chime in and type some stuff in the comments about that. That's just sort of like one discussion question that was on my mind. Okay, so goals. I want to talk about, there's a difference between goals and a vision. And both are really important. A vision is much more, it's kind of like a limitless, long-term thing for the future. My vision for singing is to amplify and elevate diverse voices in the world, right? And then that's like how my vision is, to put as much new music out into the world as possible. Like it's got a sense of inspiration behind it, right? So visions inspire action. Now goals require action. So they really do. They're a lot more specific. This is a kind of an interesting quote that I came across yesterday. I don't know where it came from, but I really like it. Actions are always individual and results are always collective. So that as you are making, doing actions, doing small things, remember that those actions build on each other. And you're really, even no matter how small the thing that you're doing is, or you believe it to be, it's definitely making an impact. So again, I want you to like keep that in mind as we're thinking about goals, and as we talk about vision. Now, I do want to go back to the homework from last night, which was to imagine yourself 6 months into the future and performing for your ideal audience. So this is an exercise called a living vision exercise. And the idea behind it is to take your vision, the thoughts, the idea that you have for the future that is like the most positive, and really embody that. Go deep and think about the details of like how you're feeling and what you're doing, because the clearer you can get on that living vision, the more specific you can create your goals. Goals are created in order to further your vision. So I'm going to take a second and let you guys write anything in the comments if you have anything about like what your vision is. If you don't feel comfortable talking about your vision, that's totally fine. I absolutely understand it. But if there are any questions about that, I'm also happy to answer them. But anyway, okay. So goals. I don't know how many of you know what a SMART goal is, but SMART is an acronym. It stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. And the really cool thing about SMART goals is that they're really fantastic way of measuring your progress towards something. And, once you have a SMART goal, you can even, make SMART goals from SMART goals and create task lists basically. So for me, thinking about my vision of getting as much new music out into the world as possible in this environment where there's no live music, for me, that means recording. That means recording and posting stuff on YouTube, and I'm very lucky. I've already been in talks with various different composers. They want me to perform their stuff, so I'm trying to figure out how to do that. Some of it is easier than others. There's definitely, if it's an accompanied work, I can't accompany myself like this. There's not even 88 keys on this thing, Also, I'm a terrible pianist. But what I can do is I have a lot of tech, so I can kind of help myself with that. So a SMART goal for me would be to learn, record, and post 3 songs in the next 6 weeks. So it's specific. I got 3 songs. Measurable. 3, right? What if I only do 1, or something like that? That's I can measure that. It's attainable. Absolutely. I have the technology and I have the time. It's relevant. Yep. It's absolutely relevant because this is furthering my vision of getting as much new music out as possible. And it's time-bound, 6 weeks. Now, there are some people who have added more letters to the acronym. So there's the smarter goal. So you can also have evaluate and readjust, or the ER at the end of SMART. And the idea behind that is that you don't want to have a goal that's going to, as circumstances change, maybe you need to reevaluate. Okay, suppose, 2 weeks from now, I lose my voice. I can't record anymore. Okay, so I'm going to have to reevaluate and readjust. All right, so evaluate where I am and readjust. Maybe I say, okay, I have 2 songs in the can. I just need to edit them. So now I've readjusted that SMART goal. The other issue that tends to come up with goals and perfectionists, many of whom are on this call, like me, is that we do have a tendency to use goals as kind of a cane with which to beat ourselves. Okay, so let's try not to do that. That's where the attainable part of it comes in, right? You don't want to be I'm going to, create an entire album in the next 6 weeks. That's, I know that I'm not going to reach that. And if I try and I fail, I could go down this spiral. I mean, certainly I have gone down spirals like this, where it's you're worthless, you can't do anything. Where really the truth is, I just set a goal for myself that wasn't attainable, really wasn't, very realistic. I think, and that's also where goals and visions, the difference between a goal and a vision comes in. You want to shoot for the moon. Absolutely. Definitely have like high aspirations. But for goals, I think it's really super important to keep that attainable aspect, because there is a really cool feeling that happens when you do achieve a goal. Like, it's like, yay, and that feeling, that like kind of like cool bubbly feeling is so important to hold on to when you are thinking about that vision, when you are having that sort of like living vision experience and living in that future, because the future should be as positive and full of joy and love and all of the good feelings as possible, because don't you want to live like that? Isn't that what we're all reaching for? So this is like, I don't know, it's a little bit woo woo. I feel like there's a level at which like the feeling is much more important when it comes to a vision than the practicality. But I just feel like feelings are really powerful. I don't know. Sorry, my mind, I'm just gonna like stop for a second because my mind went to Tom Cruise for a second. So you know how like Tom Cruise wants to do a movie on the International Space Station? And like there's like a million people who are like, what the hell? Like, dude, who wants to do a movie on the International Space Station? Like, only Tom Cruise would want to do something like that because he's nuts. And yeah, I mean, I would say probably yes, Tom Cruise is pretty nuts, but he's also got a lot of resources. So it's very possible that he will be able to achieve this, right? So like this, as far as like a SMART goal is concerned, like he could probably do that. Given enough money and enough like willpower, he certainly has the cachet, right? So I guess that's my way of saying be like Tom Cruise. And think big. Dream big. Dream big and have very specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound goals when it comes to that. So that is that's today's talk. Does anybody have any questions? I feel like I wanted to have some discussion, but it's fine if you don't. I'm just a little surprised, but yeah, I'm just gonna let that happen, and I'm really curious to know what your vision is. And actually, here's the thing. Okay. This is your homework. Your homework is, what are your top 3 SMART goals for your music career? And where does Repertoire fit in? So you can, write that in the comments, share that publicly if you'd like. There's tons of comments. And I'm like, man. Okay, sorry. Record, travel, recitals, teach it. Oh, there's tons of comments. I'm so sorry. Great. Living vision. Performing music on lesser-known composers, especially women of color. Yes. Feeling great, fulfilled, hearing audience reflect back to me the importance of this work and their enjoyment of the music. That is so great. What a wonderful living vision. Oh, and I see Dave Bickle is here. And Nicovello. Ellie, be like Tom Cruise. Yes, indeed. Okay, Michelle, goals for the month: record 3 pieces in different styles and create dialogue. across genres. So far, lined up Purcell and a new jazz song in Portuguese. Oh my gosh, that's amazing! Oh, I'm so excited for you guys. So that is, wow. Note to self, use the scroll down button to see what's going on in the comments. Ellie, goal to find 3 living composers I've never heard of and program concerts next season. Yeah, that sounds amazing. I love that goal. And that's definitely specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. Awesome, awesome. All right, I'm going to put this in the comments, your homework. Okay. And I would also love, and this, again, this is sort of like an extra bonus. It'd be really cool to hear what your vision is. Like I'm hearing some visions. If you don't feel comfortable sharing it in the comments, like just DM me. I would love to hear about it, because hearing these stories about everybody in this industry working to pivot and come up with new ideas and being really, really super creative, those stories lift me up. They really, truly do. So help me, help me stay positive and help everybody else stay positive by going out there, being creative, coming up with like cool new visions for what this brave new world is going to be. So, all right, I think that is it for today. Thank you so much for joining. I'm like just over the moon to see all of these really great comments. And remember, be like Tom Cruise.